Hello and welcome everyone to Disco Elysium, the final cut. We are back here at the apartment. We talked to Everard last time, which was very illuminating. We learned a bunch, and also we now know what our name is. It's Harry Dubois. And now we need to continue our little investigation here by talking to the smoker. It's that time. Let's see what he has to say.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag from a cigarette.
It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
You got your hint, found the key right under the stone.
Beautiful.
Replies, smiling. As he looks at you, something sparkles in his eyes.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
Honestly, I'm just trying to not screw anything up.
Beautiful.
He says again. A nearby street lamp casts shadows on his chin, drawing out the slender cheekbones.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
Oh, okay. The Friday tonight feels like Friday.
Yeah, it does feel like the end of the week. Such gentle weather.
Why would I want to meet your friend?
Trust me, you do.
Okay, very well. I'll talk to him. But first, I want to talk to you. I have so many questions.
That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one. Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush.
Besides, I've got to run.
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad.
But I just found you again.
Just look at it. It's a beautiful night. Who's going to stay in on a night like this?
A man on high heels stumbles out of a basement club, music blasting over the entire district. It's chilly, and as the chemicals hit his nervous system, 1,000 shivers ripple through his body.
Only if you promise that we'll talk again. It's important.
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words. It's laughter.
We'll talk. Just not tonight.
At some point, we're cracking Kim up.
Take care, all right?
Oh. Sunday friend. Something so different about him that I just can't put my finger on.
Different, of course.
His shirt. Why is his shirt always unbuttoned?
His shirt.
The lieutenant squints his eyes, trying to hold back laughter. His shirt.
His shirt. His shirt. No, I don't know why his shirt is always unbuttoned.
His mouth tightens as though trying to hold something back.
Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
That's at the apartment door before. I think we have a great relationship with Kim. We're the perfect odd couple. Let's see who the Sunday friend is, though. Didn't expect that. First look around and then talk to him. We can. Empty ashtray. Dishes soaked up in a pot. Flyers for underground parties. Dates for open lectures at the local university. An exquisite canopy bed made out of metal. An old photo of the same apartment dated year 01. Expensive man's perfume lingers in the air. Buckets of paint on a layer of an old newspaper. Dragon. Yes. Yes. I don't even care what it does. Drama. Become the dragon. Become an addict in a strange bathing robe. Got it. I got. Ah! Oh. Look at this. It's beautiful. Oh. Samaran conical hat. +1 logic. Super logical for a cop to wear this. -1 insensitive bachelor party vibes. Yeah, I think that's not really our style. Okay, let's talk to the Sunday friend.
You have acquired the robe. Keep it, officer. It looks good on you.
Oh.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government.
Oh.
I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur-la-Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
Okay. Weirdly helpful.
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot.
First, before we go on, I absolutely have to inquire about this wonderful canopy.
Oh yes, my friend has a great eye for these things. He refuses to tell me where it came from. It's a mystery. I believe they call this type of frame industrial. It's very comfy.
Okay.
That's really all I can tell you about it.
Forms a little rooftop with his fingers. Cold air sweeps in from the balcony.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
You actually witnessed the lynching?
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
Oh. The man gives a solemn nod. This is just the break we've been looking for.
Easy, detective. No need to jump to conclusions.
Is it because you did it, Mr. Yeah, that is exactly how we say it.
Because I did it?
The man scoffs. My apologies, I misspoke. I mean, what did you see?
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Okay.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well done, detective.
We got that one. Deduced that one when we investigate the body. Who were they? Can you describe them?
I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them. But they were very loud and very Martinez.
He pauses, looking for the right wording.
Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanities.
Mm-hmm. How many were there?
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
That would fit.
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
Were any of them the giant of Kokonur?
No, there were no mythological giants, I'm afraid. They were all quite human, so far as I could tell.
Did any of them look like drummers?
Drummers? Why, no. But then, I don't know what a drummer is supposed to look like.
I think we can drop the drummer angle. That was my bad.
No, we're not dropping it. What happened next?
I went back inside.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man.
Were they men, women?
All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
What ethnicity were they?
I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent.
What happened next?
Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching.
What do you mean nothing happened? They lynched the guy.
Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything.
Why didn't you call the RCM?
You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late.
So let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging itself, did you?
No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
It seems this wasn't the break you were hoping for. I think we have everything we need. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Villedroit.
Very interesting.
Of course.
So it
Anything I
doesn't
can do
clear
to
up
assist the RCM.
everything. What's an official like you doing in Martinaise?
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Yeah, but what are you doing here in this apartment?
Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project.
Mm-hmm.
The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
You're some kind of bureaucrat?
Yes, as I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stability. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Inter.
What is this international community?
La Communauté Internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
What is the price stability?
It is the most important thing.
That doesn't tell me anything.
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%.
Below 2% of what?
But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%.
You're not answering my questions at all.
The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet?
Okay, give me the leaflet.
A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the Moral Inter. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the Moral Intern's commitment to transparency.
I've heard about this moral intern before, but I want to know more.
It's the International Organization for Moralists. Hence, Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the Coalition.
So when I said I was a lackey of capital, what I should have said is that I'm a moral intern bitch.
Doing one's job doesn't automatically make one anyone's bitch. Besides, there are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
Are you a moralist?
But of course,
But why?
because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values.
Kim, are you a moralist?
Me? I'm a lieutenant of the RCM, dedicated to maintaining law and order in Ravachol.
We touched upon this before, like it seemed like he believed in them before, but maybe doesn't anymore.
A very moralist answer.
The lieutenant is practiced in the art of putting on a show for one's superiors.
Martinez doesn't seem very normal or stable to me.
Martinez? No. Martinez is something else.
What about the rest of Ravachol? Is it part of the normal world?
Rivachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
Democracy is a meaningless sham as long as the working class is under the boot heel of capital.
Of course, the detective's personal views do not represent the views of the RCM.
Putting on a disclaimer for us, thank you.
Ah, my friend. But the lesson of the revolution is that communism does not work.
We just haven't tried real communism yet.
Ah, yes, the unattainable ideal. Never settle for less. Good luck with that, my friend.
It's not like you're going to gather any forces soon with all that drinking. And he knows it.
Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Tell me about Sur la Clef.
What's there to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
Darlings? That can't be an official designation.
What makes Revachol Sur la Clef's darling?
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur la Clé's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes.
Okay. Enough business. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you wish, officer.
Can you tell me about your friend?
Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
What's Kedra?
Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
What do you mean?
That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
What's this EPIS thing you keep talking about?
EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see. It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level.
Okay, but like, what does it stand for?
Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole.
No, what do the letters stand for?
It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level.
You don't even hear the words I'm saying, do you?
A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident.
Is it going to be like this place? Is it going to be like this place here?
You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy.
Is Revachol going to be part of EPIS?
It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure.
Except that candidate members never become full members.
Did you say that candidate members never become real members?
No, candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation. But we were talking about my friend here, not politics.
How did you two even become friends?
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
What are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way.
Au contraire, it's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too.
You still haven't told me who he is.
Sorry, who?
The man throws a quick glance at his watch. Your friend, the smoker on the balcony. We're just talking about him.
But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
Fine, but what is his real name?
Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation.
So all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the arts?
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
Which arts?
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who
He's
knows?
not saying anything.
The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
What are you doing in his apartment by yourself?
I'm just enjoying the view.
Enjoying the view, there's a dead body hanging in the tree.
A dead body we still need to get down, by the way.
Yeah, working on it, Kim.
Listen,
A baby is crying in the neighboring apartment.
Someone's baby is crying.
no, listen.
He says again, looking outside.
The Insulindian Bay.
What about it?
This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen. But the million real view stays. You can't take that away.
Knocks on the balcony door, his face mirrored in the darkened glass. I was asking about your friend.
My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee.
A busy bee? What an odd choice of words.
Okay.
I'm all ears, officer.
Well, thanks. I've got all I need.
A moment, officer.
What?
Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
Hold on, why can't we talk later?
It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
okay, well, my
Of
work
course.
is done.
I'm sorry I couldn't be the break you were looking for. Good luck with the investigation.
What a weird guy. He talked a lot without saying a single thing. Well, still interesting. Got a little bit of information about how things went down on the night of the murder. I think I will spend my next skill point for another slot here. White Morning would be an option. The Jamrock Shuffle. Or the Coldam. Let's do the Coldamama Duck, where we brought up the giant of Kokonur. Again, I think we're all into the cryptozoology business now, so let's do it. And like I said, I feel like there will be quest related to that. So let's do that. So now I think what I want to do is go to the body, see if we actually can do the field autopsy or if it's too late for that. Too late in the day, that is. So we will return then, and I think then we check out the basement apartment on the third day for Everard. So much to do. This is such a fascinating game, though. I'm just having a great time. It's like time is flying by playing the game, and oftentimes it's just, oh, we're having like a couple of conversations with people, and that's like an hour. But for me, that's not even a bad thing, because the writing and the dialogue is so interesting and so intriguing and so fun and funny and weird, but also nuanced enough that it really keeps me interested, and I really enjoy just kind of immersing myself into the world and talking to the people and learning more about the world and how it all is put together. Let me know how you feel about it. Would love to hear in the comments below how what your impression of all of that is now that we're quite a few hours in. I assume that if you're still watching these episodes that you do enjoy it, but let me know what you enjoyed. Okay. Let's... How late is it? 10:36 already. It is very late indeed. Let's actually... Let's equip our flashlight here. Anything that might help. Okay, the body is down. Everything okay, Kuna?
You missed a good show before. A kid came by and completely fucked the tree to pieces.
He fucked the tree up! Fucked it good! It was porno!
By the way, kipped is a racial slur.
It's abusing the K word. Belongs in the past.
Can't tell Kuno what words to use. Fucking kipped.
What is this? A word museum? You want to belong to a museum, Kuno? With the old people?
Fuck you. Kuno says kipped if he wants to. Kuno's dad says kipped all the time. Kipped's a cool word.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Kipped.
Why are you even talking to these guys?
Kipped. Alright.
Okay. Well. Go.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Beautiful.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy.
Field autopsy?
Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We are on number 3.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up!
Don't we have someone else for this, like a doctor?
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain, from autopsy to cleanup to social work, everything.
Wait, honorary rank of detective?
An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able, usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. Mine is lieutenant detective.
I don't think I'm a detective.
You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. Now,
Okay.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Tell me, who are you, dead man?
I'm gone
Where have you gone?
into the wild pale yonder.
Where's that?
In the past, way out west.
See, you're gone, but who are you?
I'm a joke. Look at me.
There's nothing funny about you.
There is nothing funny about jokes either.
Who were you when you lived?
A killer. A motherfucker. And a killer. Go ahead, Kobo.
What is happening?
What do you mean?
I'm talking to you.
It's the power of your...
Black frothy liquid starts bubbling on his lips.
imagination.
Yeah, man! Don't be crazy! Inanimate objects and dead people can't really talk to you. Your wild imagination is doing this. Ask some more of those questions you love so much.
He loves those.
Why do I love questions so much?
Because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions?
Give me a comical amount of questions.
Coming right up, copperoonie Rooney. This is getting upbeat now.
Is my name Rooney?
Fuck no. You're no Rooney.
I do strike myself as a Rooney.
No, you don't. Between you and me, your name is probably Harry. That's right. Stupid, boring Harry. Harry the motherfucker.
I do feel like I've forgotten something terrible.
Because you have.
Wait, have we killed? Could that be? Could we have been actually the killer? I don't know, I've got a bad feeling here. Who killed you?
Love did me in, brother Copo. It was love all along.
Can you ask me a question?
Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Why are you doing this? Looking at my face, motionless. Looking into my eyes, standing here. Why are you investigating my murder?
Maybe this will lead to something indescribable, unforeseen, miraculous.
Ha!
The clown lips on the corpse appear to smile. Something is on its way. Something hidden. It's coming. A miracle from the northwest, and it's almost here. You can feel it in the air, on your hands. The cold spring air smoothing them over.
I hate you, you stink, and you're boring.
Do I remind you of someone?
Deep sea creature.
No, not quite. Be fair now.
You don't remind me of anyone.
Sure I do. You just don't want to admit it.
Why were you feeling pleasure when you died?
Maybe I was getting my rocks off.
So you were feeling sexual arousal when you were getting...
Do I look like an erotic auto-asphyxiation type to you?
Yes?
Captain Copodromo, I fear we are drifting away, fixating on sexuality again. Let's go with a simpler question.
Enough of that.
Come back later, Copo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible. Also, see me in your dreams.
First, what exactly is a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
You have another pair of gloves?
Unfortunately, no.
I've gardening gloves, maybe they're enough.
They are better than nothing. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical side of things while you will take notes.
Okay.
You're being handled. If you resist now, he will turn on his heavy-duty authority mode. You'll get your chance to dig in later.
You just fill this in, right? Show him the red field autopsy form in your ledger.
That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol.
Open your ledger at the field autopsy form.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with
1. Assistant.
That's you.
Harry Dubois.
the corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says
Coroner's case number
KK57-0803.0815.
That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials.
Right down.
Next.
3. Name.
NA. Next.
Date of birth.
NA.
Age.
Roughly 50.
Okay.
The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
Race.
Mondial.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Sex.
Fucky!
Shut up!
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Hey, fuck you. No, we focus on this one. Right, man.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
Date of death.
We're still going with March 4th, 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
Evidence of treatment.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
A strange word. Treatment.
What exactly is treatment anyway?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
Don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure.
I'm not sure. Didn't the footprints look like he was carried over?
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dog walkers.
Places his hand on the dead man's chest as if in preparation.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today, 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
Okay.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
First, external examination. Summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
He turns the body onto its side to check the underwear label.
See, it's happening.
Shut up!
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Write it down.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else.
When am I going to get them?
Patience. After the autopsy, before the body is taken away, there will be a window of opportunity. After the lieutenant has gone to sleep. I hope this has helped you, my liege.
No, okay, here's my plan. I want to write it down, and then we sneak out, grab the boots, and we just say that one of the locals stole the boots.
The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design. Tattoos.
He stands up, feet planted on either side of the body.
The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature, below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Touch the corpse hair before moving on.
His hair feels wet, soaked with rain, cold to touch. Not that different from a living person after a swim.
Stroke his hair, gently.
The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to your hand, like thread off a rag doll's head.
Let's keep petting him.
More hair sticks to your hand. Hair off the rain-soaked head of a dead man. There are bumps and dips on the skull below. an alien landscape. There, dead man. You were someone's child. It's all over now.
There, baby.
The lieutenant watches you in silence.
Right down, short, light brown, male pattern baldness.
That was some sick shit, Sekopa.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, consistent with stones thrown. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation.
Right down, but a meant high velocity, no. Well, we're focusing.
Ligature mark.
The lieutenant produces a small folding knife with the other hand pulling on the belt. He starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut.
The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Oh yeah, I'm prepared.
The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose.
Good thing we got these chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now,
Points to the rope squeezing the dead man's neck.
we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Let's look for a good spot to cut.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east.
Yes, I'm Kuno's pig, I agree.
You are? This pig is Kuno's.
Being Kuno's pig has a steadying effect on your hand. Go with the flow, man.
Go with the flow, man. Hey, +1, 72%, high chance. Nailed
After
it.
some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying
That
the
was
belt
worth it.
together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow.
Press down.
Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
Lieutenant has kneeled closer, running his finger along the dark red groove until there's a gap.
As it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat is gentlest, pulling up.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour, abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia.
He pulls down the man's underpants.
Now, let's get out and see.
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Does it look like he was enjoying his moment of death?
Ah yes, your hunch before. We can have a semen analysis requested from processing, if that's what you meant.
Oh, I was trying to get a psychic read.
No, you weren't, officer. That would be preposterous. Just write down that we request a semen, vaginal, and anal fluids analysis.
Fine.
The corpse with his pants down does not have an opinion on the subject. All he has is genitals and a deathly odor.
Inspect the genitals.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch.
Write down, add semen sample.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin. Last item, hands.
He takes the man's right hand in his, inspect it, then moves on to the other. Pick up the hand.
His flesh is cold, icy.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from? And what's your name?
My name is...
I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. From Cappadocia. And your name is Il Kobo. What can I do for you, Il Kobo di Cappadocia?
It's good to hold your hand. Did you like it when I stroked your hair?
I did, Kobo, I did. Reminded me of when I was just a small boy, before this happened to my face and my body. You did me a kindness there. We should do this more often. Be close like this. I mean...
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling.
Were you expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment.
Working so close to the fumes coming from the corpse must be hard. You realize suddenly that the lieutenant has been barely keeping it together these past 2 items.
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done.
Ooh, okay.
What next?
Well, internal examination, summary.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
You don't even have a
Aww.
joke.
Nope.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable.
Okay.
Respiratory system.
Back hunched as if in prayer. He begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. He stops to exert more force. Both hands are used.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands.
Look inside the dead man's mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his.
Look deeper inside.
It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction. Your throat pumps a little something from your stomach and into your mouth. You're forced to swallow, just to keep looking. Inside, you see darkness. Just a mess of meat and darkness.
There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo.
Ask me later.
Okay, write it down.
Hepatobiliary, NA.
Why, don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
He looks at the corpse stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust. I don't think so.
Neither am I.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Same for toxicology and serology, NA.
Both?
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there.
The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do.
We already have one test as per regulation, and we already requested semen.
Pigs requested semen like it's no big deal.
I'm not even interested in these boring mulkus anymore. I haven't sucked him off or anything.
Yeah, it's better to leave it that, more important.
Leave it NA then.
Right, and I... Sticking with my
Cardiovascular.
gut feeling.
The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal.
He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around to the ground, a pool of feces there.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
He touches the corpse-bloated lower abdomen briefly. We keep the voila.
What's next on the list?
Description of injuries, summary.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling
8
the neck.
marks.
You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
Okay, bite marks.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries.
Oh,
Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer?
non-fatal post-mortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
The lieutenant's admission has caused great gratitude in Kuna. He is silent with it.
Write down.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Non-fatal post-mortem.
Right.
Ligature mark.
A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
Fatal injury.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
First, how did it go?
Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We requested a test to be run on the genitals. That was the règle. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks if we are lucky. I will not hold my breath.
What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe A drink is in order?
Perhaps a drink is in order later, I mean.
Now, you see, that worries me. You will die if you drink. You know that, don't you? You are proving a useful detective. The organization would miss you.
Please get yourself together. The lieutenant from Precinct
Okay.
57 thinks.
So, what now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg
Rip out a copy.
for processing.
He looks at the dead man one more time, then at the slip of red paper in his hand, then at the corpse again.
He's thinking, did I miss something?
See.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
At the autopsy, you said you have ancient mysteries.
Oh yes, Kobo Milobo, in the gift horse's mouth. Tracts and wakes and waterways.
Something in his throat.
Ancient materials buried.
Yeah, but where, brother?
Just a small gulp away.
Yeah, something that he swallowed.
Come back later, Copo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
You run your
work.
hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough.
Look at his fingernails.
His fingernails have turned dark. They're chipped and quite long. There is dirt under them. That's all.
Do you think we missed something?
You can't
Yes.
shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before you.
Yes, there's something we're not seeing.
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination, and we need to do it fast.
Can't he just hang out here for a while longer?
If you want for this task to slowly become impossible, then yes. Otherwise, no. He's been hanging out far too long already. We need to ice him.
Okay, where do we find a fridge for the body?
Hey, wasn't there a giant iceberg sarcophagus below that building?
An absolutely colossal fridge still plugged in literally in the shape of an iceberg.
Yes. Now, I've rarely been disappointed by the size of a giant iceberg fridge. But I think we should still take a look at it first. Make sure it's big enough before we carry him over.
Okay.
Let's move. With every hour, whatever we are looking for in the deceased will become harder to find.
Yeah, there's something in his throat, or mouth, and I definitely want to check that out. So I don't want Kim to drive the body away just yet. Check out the fridge and maybe hopefully we can throw in the body. That's so cool. It's getting really, really late, so kind of want to...
The bear's eyes are still glowing red, watching over all the ice cream wrappers hidden inside its belly.
So what do you think of this fridge, Kim? It looks big enough for 2 corpses.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it is capacious and cold enough, too.
But the optics on this are awful, he thinks. We need to be as silent as we can.
Shall we go and get the body, then? I'll take the head, you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we'll manage.
Okay?
The two of you. Easily.
Okay, let's do it.
The body is heavier than you expected, and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get it down to the basement.
Jesus.
Then 10 more minutes to stuff it into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step
Getting
back
really late.
to admire your handiwork.
Beautiful. A dead body in a nice bare fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
You've definitely earned a drink after this. Perhaps even some pagan rites.
Really? You think it's good work?
No, not really. Look at that. What have we done? We stuffed a dead body in a nice bare fridge. This story does not leave this room.
This isn't police work, Kim. It's art. We're artists, and this was our vision.
If I were an artist, this would certainly not be my vision. I would be much, much more conservative in my work.
He's right. His work would be much more formal.
At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection under controlled circumstances.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge,
Okay.
the corpse stands slumped, waiting.
Try it again.
Your
Yes!
arms reach out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh, first with your fingertips, then under the palm of your hand.
What is this?
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a spider, your hand crawls over his features. Everything is silent.
All up his nostrils.
They are swollen shut. You need to really push to get in.
Push it.
Only the little one fits. The flesh changes shape as you bore in, searching for something in the cartilage. The thing you're looking for, it's not there. Crawl out, spider.
Put your finger in his mouth.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track.
Play with it. This feels right.
The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, delicate to touch. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard pearls of bone in the gums and in the back of the mouth. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in. A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your naked hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from the throat, and there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened.
What is this? Is that like an injection? Fuck yeah!
Keep going.
Touch it with your finger, gently.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound.
Put your finger in it.
Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Brainstem.
Yes, that's what this part is called. You've seen the drawings. You've studied them.
Feel around first.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex.
Push deeper.
Your fingers slide into the remains of his limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. The ululations of the limbic system have ended. All is quiet.
There's a cavity cut right between the hemispheres.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Push deeper.
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further. But the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. All the muscles in your body harden. Time to enter him.
Wriggle in.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Sharp, serrated material. The edges cut right into your skin.
I feel a solid object right under his skull.
Can you get to it?
Check the skull first.
There's a tiny crack. A protrusion in the cranium. Right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it. From the inside. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull. In the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
Okay, 72%. Nailed it.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp, like metal. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just...
Got it.
Good.
The fridge in the background buzzes with excitement. Slowly pull your fingers out.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth, covered in blood up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
A bullet.
The channel puts a small bag marked evidence under it. Put it in. He was shot.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber. Rifle. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
Can I have it?
Of course. You've earned it.
Channel drops the... I now have this bad feeling that we might have killed him, and that's why we wanted to get rid of our gun.
We need to add an item to the injury
Am I onto
list.
something here?
Injury number 4. Oval entry wound
We'll
with
see.
an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Sounds like heaven.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Goddamn right.
And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
Treatment?
As I said, treatment is an attempt to manipulate the body after death, to hide the real cause with a false cause. In this case, this injury here.
Points to the mark encircling the corpse's neck. The ligament marked the fractured hyoid bone. It was all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Dead. Dabba doop doop.
Deadity dead.
Ha ha! Do you think so?
I did not just come up with this. I've had my doubts since you showed me the tracks, officer. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him? There is no satisfactory explanation. There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too neatly designed for us to assign probable cause here, as we did, full-heartedly. Well, no more.
We almost fell for it, he thinks. Almost.
Who would do this?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer, the real motivation, what really happened here.
I think I need to wash myself.
Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Yeah. Maybe the bullet holds more answers.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
What happens next?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
Will be gone? What should I do in the meanwhile?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
Thank you.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
Well, let's bag him. I mean, it's the end of the day anyway.
All right.
Takes out a shiny black body bag and starts pulling the plastic over the dead man's face.
There go those beautiful enamel boots. You will never own the full set now. May they rest in processing.
Yeah,
I will need
didn't
a
really
little
have a
hand
chance there.
carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
Okay. And he's gone. We are alone. But this episode is already running very long. This was super interesting. There's so many theories going on in my mind. Let me know what you think. I kind of get the feeling that we might have killed him, maybe on accident, maybe on purpose. I don't know. Have a bad feeling about it all. But thank you all for watching today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please give the video a like. Maybe consider subscribing to the channel. Share the video with friends, family, and the people on the internet. It all helps me out a whole bunch and will bring you more content in the future. If you want to go above and beyond, you can check out the Patreon link down below. And I will be back with more Disco Elysium, the final cut, tomorrow. Until then, have a great time.